How do they feel about you? Okay, rest assured we're going to get right down to it. I'm really up for doing this video today, and I bet you're really up for getting some specific dates, times, answers, and whatever else we need to know. You got 3 objects in front of you, okay? Bit weird, bit wonderful. No magic to it, just your own intuition. You will be drawn to at least one of these objects. We've got this glass lotus flower. We have a cauldron. And we've got this stag. So you can close your eyes, you can meditate, or maybe you've already made your snap decision. I will put these in the timestamp so you can find your particular object and we can get straight down to it and find you some answers. This is for you if you're single, coupled, situationship, God knows what ship, or just wondering what the heck is going on. Okay, so choose your object, get yourself comfortable, get yourself a cup of tea, coffee, biscuits, elasticated trousers, whatever makes you feel good. Okay, and we are going to get down to it. I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Hello, lovely lotus flower people. Okay, you may have been in a really weird frame of mind when you were choosing this because I've put it on top of a box, and for some reason I really wanted to put it with another little object that I've got that wasn't in the video. And I feel like I just need to share that with you, and it may only resonate like with one person out there. But I have this little like diamante cross on a necklace. And for some reason, I wanted to put it on that. And I was like, this is significant. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm introducing another object. So let's just say that is like a little ghost object that's knocking around your reading. Okay. So just know that, let me know in the comments section if that's really resonating for you, okay? I'm going to have a look. First of all, I'm going to look at why you met this person. What's special about your connection, okay? What brings you to each other? I think this is really important to look at. We're also, of course, going to look at how they feel about you, what's going on with this person, and what I call any other business. Unfinished, finished, what's open, what path do you need to follow, all of these things. It's a spontaneous reading, so it's going to grow as it grows. And believe it or not, even though this isn't a live reading, you are adding to this reading by being here. Now, you as a particular group, I am definitely feeling there's something here about unpredictability. And I feel like it's in a good way. So there's something about your personality, you yourself, if you've chosen this one, which can affect a situation. So maybe and let me know in the comment section because I'm dying to know. You may literally have magical powers. And I don't say that, you know, blowing smoke up your ass. I really mean it. Magical powers, manifestation powers, what you think can become reality. So you may, and I suspect many of you in this group do already know that. But nevertheless, I just want to confirm it for you. And it does have a bearing on your connection with this person as well. So maybe that's also why that needed to be said. I love to give, you know, the detail, the weirdness in particular. Well, your group's got a lot of weirdness. There's a lot of weirdness around your connection. There's a lot of telepathy around this connection. Strange happenings, bumping into, thoughts, dreams. You name it. Even the way, oof, got a card for you that's dropped on the floor. It's going to be a lot more of that. Even the way you met this person, everything about it has a really magical ring. Okay? So, if this turns out to be your story, I always do an extended reading for each of the objects. And in the extended reading, we get even further and even weirder, and we channel even more. So see if this is your story. But if you want that, it's the first link in the description box when you finish the video. Okay. I'm just going to take a couple of cards here to see where we're at with the energy. It's very difficult to pin down the energy of your relationship. I would imagine, like, whether you're in separation from this person, whether you're in daily contact with this person, that if I were to sit you down and ask you to describe this relationship, you'd have trouble doing that in words, normal words. So there's a lot of High Priestess energy here, and this isn't the High Priestess, this is just the energy I'm picking up. Sometimes you do pick up, as a tarot reader, cards that aren't on the table. For you, and I really, really, really want you to leave me a comment, please, it's like a kind of meta energy. It's an energy of what isn't there is just as important, if not more important, as what is there. What isn't said is more important than what is said. What isn't written down is more important than what is written down. How weird. Right, okay, let's just look at these two for a second. These two cards for you and this person. We've got Jupiter in Capricorn, the Two of Pentacles here. We've got, you have a practical side to you. You, even though you've got this, and I want to say witchy, but I don't like the word witch, but what can I say? High priestessy, I'm going to call it. Okay, male, female, doesn't matter. You've got this high priestessy energy about you. You've always had it from the day you were born. Okay. And you notice with this person, they've got the infinity symbol and they are spinning these pentacles inside the infinity symbol. So Jupiter represents the infinity symbol and Capricorn represents the pentacles. Jupiter in Capricorn, Two of Pentacles. There is an energy here of pushing things, pushing boundaries of real and unreal, pushing boundaries of magical, spiritual, all of those things. And you are constantly doing that, but you do also manage to keep your, what I would call your daily persona, your 3D, your day job. You get your bills paid, you get stuff done, okay? The person that you're thinking about admires this quality in you. And the universe has brought you together in whatever way it's happened so that you and this person, but I feel like you are the driver for this actualization, that you can make the 5D become 3D. By the way, just on a complete side note, if you're not in the business of doing this already, you should be. Because you're someone who can bring something spiritual to the masses or just into reality. It's a very powerful thing. It's almost like a magic spell, you know, that you know some kind of magic spells. You have to leave me a comment because I have to know. Okay, so we have the Five of Pentacles in the reverse. Both you and this person at one time were out in the cold. This is a very spiritual card, Mercury in Taurus. It's the energy of, if you imagine that this is the normal world, as we would call it normal, kind of world that you see on TV. It's the 3D, it's the shops, the buses, the houses, you know, all of that kabungle. And you and this person, believe it or not, whether you're with them or not, are the two people who are the kind of materially bankrupt, spiritually rich. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to literally be poor. Maybe you are, maybe your person is. But there's something here about not needing to go into this warm, coloured in, three-dimensional environment. Okay? What I would say with this for you and for your person, Spirit is challenging you here. It's a challenge. You know, it's not comfortable to be you sometimes. But at the same time, you need to also be mindful, I would say, that you are not pushing yourself physically and mentally too much towards the sacrifice. Or too much even towards the 5D. You're born in the 5D. That's for sure. So you may need at times, and that's why it's a juggling act, and with this connection, at times to be more striving to the 3D, and at times striving to the 5D. The 5D comes a lot more naturally to your connection. What's special about your connection is that you're almost partners in crime here. These two stick with each other and don't go with the mass. They don't go into the church. They don't, I mean, at the time when these cards were made, the church was a place really of great convention. And isn't that strange as well? That I wanted to put the Christian cross with this, you know? And this is whether you are a churchgoer or not a churchgoer. We're now talking about it very much in a kind of broader sense. But it's there, and I knew that it was going to be. I absolutely knew that it was going to be. Gosh, isn't that weird? Weird, 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 weird. You, of course, are very used to weird experiences. I would imagine you had weird experiences. For some reason, I'm getting the word seance as well. So let me know how that resonates with you. So this is you and your person. You are both spiritually injured in some way. I don't want to call it flawed because I don't like that, because that's what you say when you're saying there's a fault with something, and I'm not saying there's a fault with anything. You are... The universe has brought you together, and what's special about this connection is that you add to each other's lives, in that one of you, I would say more you than them, but they're still in it, are bringing this spiritual element of unreality, of the dream state, of the 5D, of possibility, of pushing things, pushing the boundaries, of being magical, of co-creating. And they are bringing some kind of sense of order to it. But at the same time, weirdly, wherever you go, they go. Wherever they go, you go. So I would say, like, if you're in separation from this person, they are certainly never far in your dream, or in your prayer, or in your tarot, or in your practice, I think is a better word for it. How interesting. Now, that card has gone into reverse, okay, in the reading. But do you know what I'm getting for you in this reading? God, you're going to be hard to read for. I want to keep calling you number one, but Lotus people. You're hard to read for. You're hard to read. Your person is hard to read. I'm not surprised you're looking at a video of how they feel about you, because they're a heck of a hard to read person. Sometimes, and don't expect it to be consistent, sometimes you're going to feel like it's one way, sometimes you're going to feel like it's another way. It would be crazy making for anybody who wasn't you, who didn't have your spiritual makeup, okay? And even with your spiritual, see, I'm pointing my finger already, even with your spiritual makeup, this may still drive you crazy, okay? This is when the Five of Pentacles goes into reverse though, and I do actually quite like this. The sense of being out in the cold disappears and you come closer together. So I would say there is a need to move closer, and I'm getting that need of an animal to move nearer to a fire. You know, of our natural inclination to move towards warmth. This is a person that sees you as earth, they see you as warmth, they see you as fire, they see you as source. All of that would be very hard to describe over a coffee with a stranger. That's what I said, you know, at the beginning, when we were talking about how would you explain this to anyone? It's like a bubble that you can't catch. This relationship that you have with this person. I'm very intrigued by it. I'm very intrigued. I really, 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 really hope you leave me a comment about it. Okay. Message from the universe. Oof. Okay. This one is crossing that one. I don't normally do that, but I'm doing it. Told you, your reading is hard to catch. It's hard to do. It breaks the rules. Stuff it. Makes it more interesting for me. So thank you. Okay. Message from the universe. Woof. Ace of Wands. I like this. There is a very high physical potential with this person. There is a spiritual element to the physical side of this relationship. That's strange. I haven't had that before. There is a challenge here from the universe about using your energy well. But also, this crosses the energy of you and this person. And the universe wants to know how you're going to deal with this, you and your person. You both have this experience. The Three of Swords and the all-seeing eye and the triangulation that you get here. It comes from usually ancestral experience, past life experience, but all of that boils down to family experience because it's where we come from, it's our legacy. Both you and this person have experienced the piercing of a veil of some kind. This is not what I was expecting when I'm doing a How Do They Feel About You reading, but here we are. You have a lot of power, you have more power together, but equally apart. There is something about, I'm getting a twin kind of energy. Equally apart, you're like the same person, although you're quite different. I know, there is contradiction. You're already aware of that. Then we have this legacy, I think, this backstory, this difficulty, triangulation in your past and in their past, and how this somehow matches up together. It's an incredible combination. You have the power to heal. You also have the power to heal this person, and they have the power to heal you. In how they feel about you, they sense this at a very interstellar level. What is going on with you in this reading? God, hit the like button if this is resonating, please, because it helps me to know, because when things get really weird, they just get really weird, don't they? But you're going to know that already because you would have had some really weird experiences. Okay. Where are they at right now? Can we jump to that? I'm just speaking to the tarot now because I can get weird too. I feel like I'm in good company here. Where are they at right now, this person, as an individual? In space and time, if we can have that, but I know that it's not completely it. And guide me, please, Tarot, on finding the truth and the right cards. Why is this difficult? Okay. I'm being guided to do something I never do yet again, and this is to sort of spread these cards out. Okay. Oh gosh. Yes. Okay, I've got some pairs. We're kind of working in pairs here as well. Right, where are they at? We've got the King of Cups in reverse. Let's put those there. Put those there. With the Knight of Wands in the upright. Now, of course, the King of Cups is an incredibly spiritual king. He's always on a throne that literally floats on water. He's not my favourite king, actually. I don't have favourites because they are all good. But he's intriguing. And as a water sign, I'm liking anything that floats on water like that. You know, the kind of ideal would be to have a bed that floated on water and be asleep, wouldn't it? Here he is, though, with all of the spiritual knowledge. The cups are full of esoteric knowledge, spiritual knowledge. And by the way, your person may not completely obviously be the spiritual kind, if we want to put that in inverted commas. But inside, in their soul, in their heart, in their persona, and you know this already, they definitely are. King of Cups has been the page and the knight and has developed their emotional awareness. This person, through knowing you, has improved their emotional awareness. I feel like, and I'm getting that there is a hole in the fabric. I keep getting this for you, like a veil. There's a hole, there's a hole in the fabric somehow. When the King of Cups goes into reverse, he goes into emotional kind of escapism. I want to call it hiding. So for some of you, you are dealing with somebody who I think maybe fluctuates like a wave. There's some very private emotional hiding that this person is experiencing. And quite possibly that could be driving you a bit insane. But I think it's always been that way. This is a person that does this. And then we get this with the Knight of Wands. Total contradiction. Reckless. Wants to move straight for you, wants to do it without thinking, doesn't care about the consequences. It's pretty sexy, it's pretty exciting. This could be perceived to be blowing hot and cold sometimes. It's certainly frustrating and difficult for you to get to the bottom of, I understand that. King of Cups as well, and you will know this whether this is about your person. King of Cups can be someone who, sorry, I'm just trying to get all the cards in. Drinks a bit too much, smokes a bit too much, does something escapist a bit too much, because this person has a lot of feelings. They have a lot of feelings about you. They have a lot of feelings about themselves. They have a lot of feelings about their pain and the pain of the universe. You see this eye in the middle? I don't normally focus on this. You and this person have an all-seeing eye. Now, I think you're born like that. I don't think it's something you can obviously develop if you have it and if you want to. I'm not sure the person you're dealing with necessarily actually wants to develop it. But you can't not know what you know, unfortunately. Or maybe fortunately. Physically, this is a bit X-rated. I mean, yes, they're into you. Yes. Emotionally, there is a barrier which you have experienced. And it's strange because it comes up for me as a barrier of fabric. It comes up as like the thinnest cloth. It's reminding me of a poem by Robert Frost. I think it's called The Silken Tent. She is as in a field a silken tent. Something like, I mean, back in the day then, probably tents were made out of silk, you know. You know, if you did put up a silk tent and how it would have that sort of billowing fabric. You are that to this person. And that is the barrier between you. And you wouldn't feel like that could be much of a barrier. It's not a brick wall. But sometimes it's the thinnest thing that's the most difficult to see. I've never done a reading like this. Well, not for years anyway. Okay. No, it's that one next. What's complex about this, please? Ooh, here's the complications we're looking at on how they feel about you. Okay. Sword energy. And I would wager that this sword energy belongs somewhere in the Three of Swords as well. Okay. Queen of Swords in the reverse. Beautiful card this, so gorgeous. With Justice in the reverse. The ultimate in kind of sword energy, isn't it? Both very feminine archetypes. I would say that the person you're dealing with has experiences of the feminine that are not entirely positive, and that's the complication. Also, when you get Justice in the reverse, they may have had a lot of unfairness in their experience. And we don't get to find out how or why, we just know that that is. It brings a lot to the table because you are not this spiky energy. You are this bubble energy. I keep getting bubble energy for you. So you do represent a freedom to this person. But they have tainted experiences here of the feminine. And those may need some challenging. Okay. What this person would say to you if they were here. we get the Hanged Man with the 10 of Cups in reverse. I need time. Hanged Man energy is very similar to King of Cups energy. Hanged Man energy is Neptune. The King of Cups is often shown as Neptune. Hanged Man energy is necessary and not what you want to hear at the time. But do you know what I'm really noticing here? Can you see here we've got this Hanged Man and here we've got this 10 of Cups. And it's making the infinity symbol. Another message I'm getting is, I thought we had forever. The other thing I'm noticing here is, of course, that we have this lotus flower and that it's opening. I feel like those of you that have chosen this symbol have had a round or two with this person. Like you've been around the block with this person, or you've been in a cycle with this person already. It feels well, let's have a look, because we're on to any other business. Okay. What card do I want for this? Yes. You are definitely in a suspended state about this. It's like that silky tent suspended in the field. You're at a very delicate stage with this person. They're at a very delicate stage in how they feel about you. I believe this has been most tricky here. We've got the 3, so it could be 3 months. The most potent energy here is attraction. We've got the Knight of Wands, we've got the Ace of Wands, we've got a sense of really kind of, the universe is really pushing something through. Oh, wow. God, I love that. We're looking here at the any other business section. I love that. Absolutely. I've never even seen that card before. Of course I haven't, because I'm reading for you. I'm not surprised. Yeah, it is that one. Okay, good. I do want to take a third one. I feel like this one might cross the other one. Yeah, it does. Right, I'm going to do that one in a sec. Okay. Love this. Emotional freedom. And honestly, I haven't seen that card before in this deck. This is the Belinda Grace deck. There's something here about the 2 of you and the 5D. You need room to swirl around with this person. They see you as a delicate bubble. But the trouble is, when you catch a bubble, it breaks. Note these spirit animals, please. So we have the owl, we have the hare, or the rabbit actually, and we have a winged horse, so we have the horse. Okay, these are very significant for you and this person, whether it's in the form of symbols, jewelry, your experiences. Very important. Winter is important. Winter time. It may have already been significant because we have this Five of Pentacles card as well. This is very nice. Chivalry is unfinished business here. They want a chance to show up for you. They want to do it right. And I'm getting in brackets this time. Got another horse going on in this picture too. I feel like horses are very significant. You may have been attracted to the stag as well, possibly. Then the card that crosses these two is the reparenting card. Oh yes. Oh yes. The reparenting card is for both of you. And it's to do with that Three of Swords, as we already know. You repair that, you repair the connection. Wow. Okay. I'm going to do your extended reading. I'm going to crack open, I've got some new Love Oracle decks there, which are really, I don't know, they have a lot of emotional freedom in them. And just really good juju. We're going to dig further. We're going to channel messages from your person as well, like literally. We're going to channel details. We're going to get right behind the veil. That's what we need to do, okay, in the extended reading. That's what I'm going to do. Woof. Okay. Thank you for being here. This has been one of the most interesting readings I've done in a really long time. Please do leave me a comment because it just helps me, especially if I'm doing a reading like this where I'm like channeling, full stop channeling, because you are channelers that I'm reaching. You're channeling back to me, by the way. I love that. It gives the reading a lot of energy. That's what you do. Wow. Okay, so if you want the extended, that's the first link in the description box. Please subscribe to the channel because it helps the channel, puts energy back into the channel. And I'll see you on the other side. You are remarkable people. Namaste. Hello, those of you that chose the Cauldron. Brave souls that you are. I kind of was looking for the little objects for this reading. And I thought, Gemma, you know, it's kind of a love reading. Do you really want a witch's cauldron in a love reading? But I really did. And I really felt that some people would be completely drawn to it. So here you are. At the front, we've got a little town called Dawlish written on the front. On the bottom, we've got W.H. Goss and what I think might be an eagle. Is it an eagle? I think it is, you know. And then we have Double Double, Toil and Trouble, Everburn and Cauldron Bubble from Macbeth. It's a cute little piece. It feels good in my hand and actually the juju of it is pretty good. But I'm interested about the empty vessel and I'm also interested for some of you, and I'm going to pull some cards. For some of you, there is something here about voice that I don't understand. Now, it could be as simple as that there is a connection between you and this person to do with song, or to do with music, or speaking, or something like that. But voice is a part of it. It's the thing that I'm getting is kind of you are their voice in some way. No idea what that means yet. And that's why we're here, isn't it? Okay. We get the Nine of Pentacles with the Eight of Wands. That's very interesting to get the Eight of Wands. Okay, Nine of Pentacles, Venus in Virgo. We've got a woman here surrounded by the things that she loves, the things that she's achieved. She's got the Pentacles, she's got the Bird of Paradise. I would say as well, because it's now come up on the object and it's come up on your first kind of signifying card, that birds might be some kind of significant connection. Feathers, particular birds, birds of prey, hawk, what do they call that when you train a bird to be on your hand? Falconry, that kind of thing. Also, maybe a really weird connection with that. Some of you, when you're asking this question, may at the moment be single. This is the happy single person card, the independent person card. It's an interesting card to get. It doesn't always mean you're literally single, but it means that you're whole and complete and independent of somebody. Now, the Eight of Wands is a card of voice. It is a card of words, and it is a card of momentum. I particularly like the Eight of Wands as a card. It has a really good feeling to it. It has a feeling of bubble and fizz. If it was champagne, it would be like the bubbles going up in the glass. It's wanting to talk, it's talking, it's communication, it's things moving. Somebody is talking about you. If you've chosen this cauldron, how they feel about you, they're talking about you, okay? They're speaking about you, they're thinking about you, they're talking about you. Very interesting. Okay. Now I'm going to have a look at how you and this person were brought together, why you were brought together, what is special about your connection, why Spirit brought you together, okay? Because it's important, it's going to feature. What do we need to know about why Spirit brought you together with the person that you're asking about? Let's put the cauldron off to one side there. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Okay, we get the World with the Queen of Wands. There's a lot of spiritual fire, I would say, about your connection. You or they may be a fire sign or have a lot of fire in your natal chart. Because we've got the Queen of Wands here and the World card, Major Arcana, the last card. It's a deep cycle card. So it's the last card of the Major Arcana when you're doing Major Arcana. And there's something about cycling, fire cycling, a circle of fire, something between you two that is, it may be that this is a relationship that you have had before. And this can take so many forms. It can be a past life relationship. It can be something in between. I always think, you know, like with past life relationships, it's not necessarily like 200 years ago, I was a chimney sweep and, you know, they were a whatever and we knew each other. Sometimes it's like a duality that can exist in a connection with somebody, which you absolutely can't explain because it's got 2 feet. It's like 1 foot in one camp and 1 foot in the other. And you have a sense of knowing. This person and you have a sense of knowing each other. Now, this is a cycle, and I feel it's a cycle of fire. It could be shamanic as well. And I feel like the universe is presenting this to you again. And it may even be that even in this lifetime that you have broken up and got back together with this person or moved away from each other, moved closer to each other, either physically, mentally, certainly spiritually. Something about this relationship may feel a little uncomfortable. I'm picking that up as well. something about this relationship talks about leadership, and the world is talking to us of the cycle. This is very interesting to me. Please leave a comment if you have some idea what's going on with the past life thing, okay? Because I love to hear about that. I don't specialize in that, but when it comes up, I get this kind of feeling. And then I rely on you to come back to me and just say, it's this, it's that. You're not crazy, Gemma. You know, because it can. You're like, what is she talking about? I think you know what I'm talking about, actually. I think it's me that thinks I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay. What is the cycle that we're currently in, please, Spirit? These readings so far are turning out a lot deeper than I thought. We're getting really kind of underneath the skin of a connection with somebody. And I think this one is no exception. If it turns out to be your story, there will, as there always is, be an extended reading. And it will be extended reading for the Cauldron or something like that in a link in the description box. So if it does really, really resonate with you, you can take it further if you want to. Let's have a look at what the lesson is, what the cycle is. I don't like this card. Oh my God, isn't that so... God, it's just giving me the shivers. Honestly, I'm pulling this out and I'm thinking, I don't like this card. It feels wrong. I mean, it's not. Every tarot card is supposed to be for you. But you pull it and you think, I don't want to take that one, but I have to take that one. This is a cycle of grief for some of you. There has been some connection with this person. That's what I mean. This is not necessarily comfortable. You may have experienced grief in your life, or they have, or you both have. You may have periods of time with this person that are quite dark and that are quite difficult. You may have already been through these periods of time. And you may have periods of time on your own where you have worked through patterns of grief. Yeah, look. Get the High Priestess with the 9 of Swords. Now, you may have wavered about choosing, what was the other, oh my God, I can't even remember what the other object is now. It'll come back to me. I can't believe the Lotus. God, I'm channeling, and when I channel, I can't think straight. You may have wanted to choose the Lotus. You may still also choose the Lotus because you're coming up to me as very psychic, but also there's a healing element going on here. The person that you're asking me about sees you as salvation in some ways, but they're not the only person who does. Now, you may literally be a healer yourself, and that's what you do. You may have dabbled with it, and if you haven't, my God, maybe you should. This High Priestess with the 9 of Swords is like, you know things. You know the long dark night of the soul. You know it. Most of the time for me, if you know something, it's because you've lived it. Now, again, not necessarily in this lifetime. I know we're getting all woo-woo, and I don't normally do that, but occasionally it happens. And sometimes the High Priestess is like the midwife, the spirituality midwife. So you are a bridge between the spirit world and the human world. And in the relationship between you and this person and how they feel about you, And most of you are going to be women, I think, here, because this is a strong female archetype here. Coming up as the Queen of Wands, she's on a throne, she's got a black cat. We've got the High Priestess, she's on a throne, she's got the Torah, she's got the knowledge. This is some major, major, major energy, okay? This person, weirdly, you know how we came up with something to do with the voice? They may not talk that much. They may not speak out loud a lot. They may not like their voice to carry. What a strange thing to think, but this person sees you as their voice. Now, it may be that when you're together, you talk more than they do, but it's more than that. It's like you're a spiritual mouthpiece for this person. So when we're asking why Spirit brought you together, in the forming of this person's words, you somehow conjure some magic for yourself as well. Gosh. Okay. Let's have a look from their side, please. Can we know about this person? Can we know, please, about this person? Yeah, I'm really not surprised to see that. So now we have a High Priestess and we have a Hierophant, or the Guru. So the Guru in this deck, which by the way is the Tripping Weight Tarot Stars edition. This is the Hierophant, or the High Priest. So we have masculine and feminine energies, High Priestess and the Guru. This is like, you know, the pair of you could just levitate off somewhere. Page of Wands. Love this energy. I love all of this energy, actually. All this kind of fiery, phoenix-like energy that happens between you and this person. You are like a soothing waterfall for this person. I don't know if you're a water sign, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but you are a soothing waterfall for this person. They need your... So it's like, they need your watery ways. I know that sounds mad, but it's not. It's that whole kind of subconscious knowledge that you have. They can't access that without you. I feel like when you're around as the High Priestess, they become the Guru. When you're not around, they're the Page of Wands, with a lot of potential, but slightly unfinished. You know, slightly random kind of energy. This is a very interesting reading. Please let me know in the comments section about any of it, to be honest with you. Any of it. And do hit the like button if it's resonating with you. It helps me to know that it's getting out there. Okay. Let's have a look at any unfinished business. Wow. we get the Queen of Pentacles with the Six of Wands. For some of you, this relationship so far has definitely not reached the heights of its potential. Your unfinished business, and see, we've got these birds back again here. Your and it's a peacock. It's really nice because it goes with all the stars, doesn't it? Fantastic. Your unfinished business is your actual success. Six of Wands, winner, winner, chicken dinner, or vegan alternative. We have it on the channel a lot. We love this card. Again, it's Wands energy. It's fire. Trial by fire and you win by fire. That's channeled for you. It feels like you have the wand, Queen of Wands. You're in control of the fire. This person you're dealing with, they're the page. They know about the fire, but they don't have control on it. They don't have the living knowledge of it. Then they're not quite there. They want to reach this guru status. And you are a mouthpiece for them. I'm getting a lot about their silence though. Well, let's have a look at that. What about their silence, please? I want to ask that question. And boy, does the universe want to answer it, because the cards just fell out. Oof! We get the Two of Swords, which is the card of silence. This is literally la la la, fingers in my ears, not listening, isn't it? And we get the Six of Swords. Okay. Could be dealing with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Two of Swords is the road not travelled. So you have two swords crossing each other like this. They're both aces of swords. They're both ways that this could go. And we have this energy. We have a lot of new moon energy with the Two of Swords. So do have a look on a moon calendar. Look when the new moons are. If you're looking to have a conversation with this person, or for progress with this person, or for a good timing, new moons are going to be your good timing. Okay, you can find them anywhere. Just Google it. Next new moon or new moons this month or whatever, and they'll tell you the dates where you are. Use that energy, okay? And use it to manifest. Use it if you're needing to talk to this person. Any of it's going to be really good for you, okay? With the Two of Swords, there is a third way that has not yet been made, if you were. And it's you and this person are in the process of making it. So this is the road less created. It's the road less travelled. But this person also wants to, in some way, steer you away from some kind of difficulty. This, for me, a silence in the boat. It feels quiet. It feels like someone's steering you into the future. I really like this, but you may find that your person, particularly maybe right now, or even, in the past, is a person of few words about things. They have an awful lot going on in their internal landscape. And I think that you can sense it. And I've just realised sometimes, you know, I see the complex things. Let me know if you do this. I see the complex things and the simple things pass me by. This is a freaking witch's cauldron. And I'm wondering why you're getting a load of cards that are telling me that you're the high priestess and that this is the guru and that, you know, okay, makes sense. Makes complete sense. Okay, guidance for you and this relationship. Let's have a look from the universe. Guidance on how to use my camera would be good too, wouldn't it? Let's just push those a little bit. Okay. Guidance about this relationship from the universe. Oh, yes. Oh. I've got two here. Oh my God. Okay. Well, this is very interesting. I'm going to put that one there because I've got one extra one that came out. So, first off, we've got the Knight of Pentacles. Now, this is not a fast-moving thing. It's patience. It's playing the long game. Okay? Definitely playing the long game. Then we've got the Eight of Cups. You may be in separation from this person, or you may have some distance now or in the future with this person. And it's important. I'm just looking at the stars. It's important. It may be that there is, you know, a geographical reason that you need to be away from this person. It may be that there are aspects of this relationship that aren't right for you and you think to yourselves, no, this is my bottom line, this is a deal breaker, I'm going to distance myself. Distance is built into this relationship in some ways. And closing that distance may be the lesson as well. I feel like in a past life, this may have also been a thing. You may have a verbal or emotional distance. It may be geographical, it may be all of the above. And then the other card that was just begging to come out with it is the Fool. For some of you, there may need to be a new beginning with this person. And it may be that you can't have a new beginning without the distance first. Very interesting energy. It may be that there have been stops and starts here already, and that it's part of the lesson. It feels that way. And don't be afraid of that. Let's have a look at some love oracle card for you as well. The person that you're dealing with may have been verbally distant. I am getting channeling of someone calling across a cave and getting an echo. That's the empty vessel. Let them speak when they need to speak. Do you remember we got the 8 of Wands? Let them speak when they need to speak. They will. Well, I'm not surprised to see that one. Okay. First card we get is the Sacred Woman. This is confirmation of this High Priestess energy that I'm getting for you. It's very, very, very important because also, if I'm right, when they had the Oracle at Delphi, the High Priestess didn't speak in normal words. She interpreted the vapors and she kind of spoke in tongues. And there's something about this relationship where normal words don't quite cut it. It's very interesting, and I would love you to leave me a comment about that. We also have your life purpose here in the middle. Part of this relationship is very tied up with your life purpose. Again, we've got the birds. And to do with your healing journey, your healing of yourself. And not to be dramatic, but your healing of the world in some way. So you may be an empath, a light worker. There's a lot here about that for me. And this person is like a missing piece in the jigsaw of that I don't really understand, and I don't know if you do either, but I think that you will. And then we have chivalry. Got the bird again. This is a weird message for you about this person. So, and this won't be literal, but it feels like they're going to communicate like through carrier pigeon. You know, it's that weird. They want to talk to you. They want to communicate with you. They find it difficult to speak. Let them speak when they're ready. But at the same time, when they do, it will be a strange way of getting hold of you when they have to say what they have to say. And this is whether you're in separation or whether you're not. I like that this chivalrous card has come up. It shows a caring and a knowledge and an element of planning, and just, it's nice. It's just a lovely card to get. But chivalry needs to come from their own initiative. It's not something you can ever ask for, because if you have to ask for it, you don't appreciate it. You are the wise one in this connection. And in many of the connections that you have in the world, you are the wise one. And it's not big-headed to say that. You know, get used to it, because this could be a profession for you for a start. But in your wisdom, that Knight of Pentacles and even that 8 of Cups that you got, don't discount any of that. If there is a need to keep a distance for a time, do it. And there may be. It's not all glitter and unicorns in this connection. It just isn't. But it's so worth it. It's a beautiful and deep connection with this person. But just remember as well in the background, that 9 of Swords. There's something to be healed, and you are the healer. Woof, gosh. Woof. I'm going to go do the extended reading. We're going to channel messages from your person. I'm going to look at the shadow side, what's going on behind the scenes, because that's always very interesting, especially if you chose the Cauldron. And we're going to do some more mad digging and channeling. And how do they feel about you? Whew. I'll see you on the other side. Namaste. Hello, you chose the stag. This gorgeous, gorgeous little stag here. I used this one a couple of times ago for another reading, so you might have actually chosen it then as well, or maybe it just took your fancy this time. Really beautiful brooch. So here we have full stag. It's like a divine masculine energy as well, but also with sparkles. And we are using a sparkly tarot as well. So what do we need to know? I'm just going to stick that in the corner there. And we're just going to take a couple of cards that will give us just the first bits of knowledge about this connection, okay? I've written it down, here. We are looking at why Spirit brought you together. What is it that's special about your connection and why Spirit brought you together, okay? So we're going to look at that. We're going to look at how they feel about you. We're going to look at all the good stuff. That's definitely one for you. Ooh. Interesting. Nice. They've all been very esoteric readings so far. So, why Spirit brought you together? We are first coming up with the moon, a very subconscious energy card. So there is a deep rooted connection. I was going to say reason, but it's not. It's a connection. There's a deep rooted connection between you and this person. It's a bit mysterious. It's definitely not particularly linear as well. You may have been attracted to the Lotus. You may have wanted to go for that one, or maybe you've already gone for that one, as well as this one. Moon card is traditionally associated more with the water signs, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. The moon cycle is very important to the relationship as well. This is something that we're going to use the word fathom, because fathom is for measuring the depth of water, isn't it? There is a water connection between you and this person. It may be to do with the sea. It may be to do with the river. Obviously, the tides are controlled by the moon. And the other card I get with the moon is the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups, of course, always has a throne by the sea. And she always has this enormous, looks like the FA Cup trophy. This is the cup that she uses for scrying, so she can see into the future. She can see if the cup is full of water, all of that kind of thing. Very, very beautiful energy. It's a very soft connection, this. It's a very nuanced connection. It's very subtle. It's very spiritual. I would say here that I'm picking up that you are a lot of feminine energy, because we have the stag as the masculine energy, and then I'm picking up that feminine energy. Oof, I like this. I like this a lot. Okay. What do we need to know about what you add to each other? What do you bring to each other's lives? What's it all about? Okay, that's very interesting. So I get the Four of Cups, another cup card energy, and I get the Seven of Pentacles. I think that you're coming up to me here as the Queen of Cups. and that they're coming up to me here as somebody who provides more structure, more grounding. This is somebody who sees you as the moon, as the Queen of Cups, as this kind of very ephemeral, wavy, feminine energy. And they are somebody who likes to sort of dig up things and requires proof, really. As you would think if you were thinking of a farmer. They grow stuff, it grows, they can see it. It's practical, they know the seasons, they know what to do with things, they fix things, they do stuff. You are a mystery to this person. It's like you're on the edge of their consciousness. You know, if we look at this one, it's like you are kind of... Sometimes they don't know where you're at. They don't know where you are. They don't know what you're thinking. They don't know. You seem a bit ethereal, like you could float off. You probably were definitely attracted to the Lotus one, because I remember there's something in there about being a bubble that I remember saying. But I think it's a case slightly of opposites attract. And I think it's particularly quite harmonious, actually. This is somebody who would like you to lean on them when you need to, and to not always have to work everything out for yourself, but to be able to lean on them for practical help, for practical skills, for finding a way through the wilderness. They like the fact that you are not like them. They like that. It's attraction for them. That's cool. Okay. What is the purpose of this? Nice. Okay. Oh, God, yes. Oh, God, yes. To take one more for that. Oh, God, we've got cards coming out all over the shop. There's a lot of purpose going on here. Right. Let's see if I can show you these on the camera. I don't know what the light is like at the moment. Let's see what it picks up. Well, it's all right. I'm just going to get rid of them myself so that you can see the cards properly. Right. There's a lot of potential in this connection. We've got the Ace of Pentacles coming out here. Again, more of this pentacle energy, more of this earth energy, but there is also an energy of starting something, because we have two aces together, which I love. I love getting two aces in a combination. Ace of Pentacles is about what is real that we can do. What is real, what is felt, what is connected, what is tangible, what can we make happen together. And right next to it, this cowboy, love this card, we've got the Eight of Pentacles with the Ace of Pentacles. I know, try saying that when you've had a few Tizers. The Eight of Pentacles is when somebody then makes that happen. Someone's knocking out these pentacles. They know how to do it. They can make it happen. They can make the pentacles happen. We've got highly, like, for example, you and this person could definitely start a business together. You can do a project together. You can make something happen together. There's a lot of potential with your abilities and their abilities harmonizing with each other, even though they are quite opposite. And I like it. It feels good. And then over here, oof, this is lovely. This gorgeous, glittery, lovely 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups, Mars in Pisces. Let's turn it up to 11. Rainbows up to the sky with celebratory drinks. Yeehaw, the whole bit. And I love her dress. Oh my God, that's amazing. I didn't notice that before. I did a pick a card a while ago that had a rainbow in it. And rainbows might be a thing for you, okay? Hasn't come up in the other two, but it is coming up in yours. If you can work at it with this person, there is high potential. High potential. Spirit has brought you together because you are a very good team. A very good team. What you miss, they can pick up. What they miss, you can pick up. You are more subtle, you are more ethereal than they are, but they can also put solidity to your hopes, wishes and dreams. And I love that. And with this in mind, we then have this beautiful Ace of Swords. You could write together, sing together, play together, whatever it is. But you can really make something happen here with these two aces. And then the Two of Wands, potential. Here we have someone looking out to the horizon. Beautiful energy. Gorgeous energy. It may push you out of your comfort zone though. This relationship pushes both of you. You make them more questioning, more ethereal, more spiritual. You bring, the glittery weirdness to the table, as it were. I love a bit of glittery weirdness. And they bring the hammer and tongs to make it happen. And that is fantastic. There's a lot of potential here. A lot of potential. Whew. Gosh, yes. Right. Is there unfinished business on their mind? Some of you will be in a relationship with this person. Some of you could be in separation. We're going to have a look. So I'm going to put these up here. Got our stag down there. Let's put you up there. Is there unfinished business on their mind? If this is your story, by the way, if it really resonates with you, there will, as there always is, be an extended reading in which we will take it even further, we will channel even more, we will dig and get even more glittery and even more weird. So if you get to the end and it resonates, that will be a link in the description box with extended reading stag written on it or something quite inventive like that. Okay, any unfinished business on their mind? Interesting. Oh, I knew there was more cups to come. Okay. First of all, we've got very, very practical things. We've got the Six of Pentacles. They would like to give you something. Are you in the energy of receiving? This is a card that is very much about receiving. This is a person who enjoys giving in a relationship. If you have been finding that you've not been getting what you want out of this connection, ramping up your ability to receive would probably make a huge difference. You can never change anyone else, but you can definitely change your own energy, and that would work well. Then we have here the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is what I call the Queen of Velvet Waiting. She's ready to receive, but she's not sweaty. She's not checking her phone. She's not running up and down wondering what's going on. She's not chasing up. She just sits on that throne. She feels pretty good and she knows that it's coming. So the message that I get here is know that this is coming to you and that you don't have to chase it. I think that's really important because you may have felt like that. There is some unfinished business about the power balance in this relationship. There's some unfinished business about you receiving. So get receiving. Even if at the moment there's nothing to receive, be in receiving mode. And what you can do with this is to be in receiving mode for the other parts of your life, because it really, really helps. You can be receiving, I'm going to receive a free cup of coffee, I'm going to receive a parking space today, all of these things. And then it has a knock-on effect in receiving love. Here we have some really interesting unfinished emotional business. We have the 9 of Cups in the reverse. Something didn't go the way you wanted it or the way they wanted it, okay? With the 4 of Cups again. It may be there's a dynamic between the two of you of not always being able to be the first one to be vulnerable. And I understand that. And you don't want to be always the first one lining up, you know, to be disappointed. Obviously not. But there is also a point where it's important that it doesn't become like a standoff. It feels like something, there is unfinished business about the way something went, and nobody quite knows how to correct it. And again, with the unfinished business, we get the Hanged Man, the poster boy for unfinished business. Here he is. I like the energy of the Hanged Man. Now, this is very important. When you get the Hanged Man, the universe is telling you that there is a very good reason for the unfinished business. And it's annoying, and you always get it when you want things to move forward and you want progress. But the Hanged Man is telling you there's something you need to see. Really important. Something that you need to see and work out here. And then we have the Page of Wands. I like this. There is a growing passion. I'd say because it was the Page, that it's still kind of, it's either under wraps or it's, you know, the Page is the most junior of the three. You've got the Page, the Knight and the King and the Queen. And the Page is obviously at the bottom of the ladder. So it's when there is the beginning of something, but it's there. There's an underlying passion that I really like the look of. But yes, there's unfinished business here. My God, is there unfinished business here? Let's just shove those up there. And there. What's going on with this person then, please? How do they feel? Whoa, this came up in one of the other ones. It's not the same deck, but it's the same card. Yes. That hasn't come up in any of them though. Oh, come in. Nice. Okay. First pair I get here for how they're feeling is the 10 of Wands with the High Priestess. So the person that you're dealing with has something that is overwhelming. something that is filling up their plate. It could be work, it could be their life in general, whatever their stresses and worries are. They're reaching a kind of a tipping point, which is a tipping point you want somebody to reach. Because when you get the 9 of Wands, someone is kind of defensive still and paranoid. When you get the 10 of Wands, it's all out there. They can actually drop it. They can actually start back on the Ace of Wands and do something. And then with it is you, the High Priestess, the Queen of Cups. You can relieve this person's burden. This is how they feel about you. They can't place you. They can't pin you down. They can't work you out, and they don't understand you. I got to be honest with you. I mean, but I like it. But if they could understand you, I don't think they'd be as interested. You are going to eternally be a mystery to this person. But that is a good thing, believe me. It's the mystery that makes it so. You may be a bit of a mystery to yourself, to be honest. Definitely leave me a comment about that in the comment section. Because I'm kind of getting that, you know, that some of you are laughing and you're like, yes, yeah, totally get it. Then we get the Chariot. The person you're asking about and their feelings about you, they are in a bit of conflict. They are one way, then they're the other way, then they're this way, then they're that way. They're pushing it around. You've got the Chariot with the 2 Sphinxes wanting to go in opposite directions. They're a bit overwhelmed. They don't quite know what to do. And they're a bit, what's the word? In conflict. It's the only way that I can put it. It's Cancerian energy as well. It may be that their home life is a bit in conflict too. And yet they see you as the Queen of Wands. They have you on quite a pedestal, I feel. It feels like you are quite powerful to them. It's interesting because I would say that they are the natural divine masculine source here, and that they may want to lead, but at the same time they kind of, all these strong feminine cards here, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Wands, the High Priestess. I love all this energy. They see you as a very powerful person, probably a lot more powerful than you see yourself. Be interested to know what some of you do for a living, you know, what's your kind of occupation, because it just looks like they're slightly in awe of you, and I like it. Nice. Then we have the Four of Pentacles. This person is quite sensible. This person is quite reserved. They're not someone who blabs the farm. We've got the Four of Pentacles, which is a card where things are kind of, they're not hidden because it's Sun in Capricorn. It's not a sneaky card or anything like that, but they're not out there for everyone to see. They prefer things to be private. They're a very private person in that way. And then this combines with the Six of Wands, which is a really nice card. They would like to win you, I think, for there to be a victory, for there to be a win-win, for there to be success. I like that a lot. Let's have some love oracle cards for you. We're going to have Belinda Grace, True Love Oracle. I'm going to hold these up because you're going to see them a lot better. In the extended reading, we will be channeling messages from your person. We will be looking at the shadow side. We will have a dig and ask, is there anything we don't know about? And any other weird and wonderful stuff that comes up using loads of weird and wonderful decks and the cards that we've already drawn on the table. We just take it that bit further. Ooh. Oh yes! I'm taking 3 of these and then I'll share them with you. Nice. Perfect. Yes. God, this is great. Okay. At the bottom, I'm looking at maturity. I just wanted a sneaky peek at the bottom of the deck. I think you're both coming into your own in some way. And it is through meeting each other, whether you're in separation, whether you're together. Your connection with this person encourages both of you to develop the natural side of yourself, the feminine energy and the masculine energy. The first card that I pull is a bit like a bad Match.com or Tinder profile, actually. You know, like when you get somebody either with a big fish or a lion. But anywho, it's Divine Masculine. Of course, goes with the stag. We've got, I think that's the Eye of Horus. We've got an eagle. Like I said, it is Match.com, isn't it? We've got a shield, some pyramids, we've got the sun, and we've got a lion. And a loincloth. Nothing says Divine Masculine like a loincloth and a lion. I know. Seriously though, this is the Divine Masculine energy coming up, and I'm very, very pleased to see it. This person is relatively simple, I would say. You are complex. They are simple. They are private but simple, but they can't read you, and they love that. And then we get the Sacred Woman. This came up in one of the other two as well. You are the mysterious, spiritual, feminine energy that they need, that they can't create for themselves, that they have no idea what to do with or how to behave with, actually. And then we get manifestation. As you're coming up as the Queen of Cups and you're coming up as the High Priestess, you are going to be the manifester of this relationship. It's something you've probably already mastered as a skill. It's something you're good at. It's something you're born to, and it's something they simply can't do. So if you are already into manifesting, do your thing, okay? Get journaling, get your scrapbook going, get your, why have I forgotten the name of it? Your board, you know, your inspirational board. Can't remember the name of it. It's the end of a long reading. That's supposed to be me putting things on the board. There you go, and putting things on the board. Vision board, there you go. This is something you can manifest. They cannot. And they feel your ability and they love it. So if you're not into manifesting, go and find some people on YouTube that teach you how to manifest very basically and get into that, because it will have phenomenal results for this relationship. You are an eternal mystery to this person, but a mystery that they want to chase down, and that is very interesting to me. Whew. Right, I'm going to go do the extended. Thank you for being here. Hit the like button if it resonated. Leave me a comment and let me know if any bits particularly resonated with you so we can get into it. And I'll see you on the other side. Namaste.